On May 12, 2017, Patrick Ward was wheeled into a surgical prep room at St. Bartholomew's Hospital in central London. The sprawling medical complex known simply as Bart's to locals just sits a few blocks from St. Paul's Cathedral, where it was founded in the year 1123 when Henry I ruled the kingdom. The hospital operated continuously throughout Hitler's aerial bombing campaign, proudly weathering the Second World War as bombs rained all around the complex and even sometimes on the elegant landmark. But in Bart's 900 years of existence, no bomb created greater havoc than the one dropped that Friday morning. Now, Ward had traveled 3 hours from his small village in Dorset near the southern English town of Poole. His family had farmed the maritime land since the late 1800s. Now, a sweeping landscape plucked straight from the pages of a storybook. And Ward had a job that suited his idyllic home. He was the longtime sales director of Purbeck Ice Cream, a gourmet ice cream maker. He loved the job. I get paid to talk and eat ice cream, he told us, and I could do both fairly well. He waited 2 years for a surgical slot to open up at Bart's to repair a serious heart condition called cardiomyopathy, a genetic condition that had thickened his heart wall and rendered the sturdy, middle-aged Englishman who once hiked and played soccer basically unable to perform most daily tasks. That morning, Ward's chest was shaved and his body was beset by a battery of tests. He lay resting on a gurney awaiting for his long-sought procedure when the surgeon dropped in. "It'll just be a few more minutes. I'll see you soon in the back," he said. But Ward was never wheeled into the operating room, and he just continued waiting. And more than an hour later, the doctor reappeared and said, "We've been hacked. The whole system is down across the hospital, and I can't do the operation." The hospital that had remained open throughout World War II was suddenly frozen, a target of a sweeping cyber attack. All its computer systems had crashed. Ambulances were diverted, appointments were canceled, and surgical services closed for the day.
So what kind of cyber attack do you think it was? If you think ransomware, you're spot on, and you could give me a thumbs up in this video. It was ransomware. And by the way, the narration done by Ricky, my cousin and best friend. He was reading from the book Tools and Weapons. It's written by Brad Smith and Carol N. Brown. I wrote about it. I think I even did a vlog about it. I will link it. I will link to the book if you want to know this story and many more of how cybercrime actually impacts us in our daily life. You can find it in this book. I highly recommend. I believe it's a must read for anyone. If you're in the industry or not, it's for you. You really should read it. But today I want to talk about ransomware, what it is, how it kind of gets into your system, and then also what you can do to protect yourself. And so when we look at what it is a malware. It's a special kind of malware that once it's in your system, it will encrypt system files or even just files that you need and ask for a ransom. It will basically ask you to say, give me that much money and I'm going to give you a key to unlock your files. In very rare instances, they steal files so that they could say, we leaked the files if you don't pay, or just as a proof point to tell you, you see, I got here files that might be important to you. Now, how does it work? Now, the attackers need access to your system, and that access could be through a system vulnerability. It could be through a compromised account that they have the password to your account. It could be that it is through phishing, or you get emails, or you click something or a suspicious website, and that's how they get into it. And then once they're in it, they're going to try to see if there's other systems in that network, try to elevate their access so they actually have what they need to run their malware, which then is to encrypt and show that display notification to you that it all has been encrypted and that you need to pay. Now there's 4 steps I want to cover on that you can take to protect yourself. And first and foremost, the most important step is to protect your account. And that means complex passwords. Don't use the same password everywhere. Use a password manager. Very common password managers like 1Password or Dashlane. There are other ones like Apple has one with the keychain. Microsoft with the authentication app is using it. So once you have your complex password, also make sure you activate two-factor authentication. And whenever possible, don't use text messages, use an authentication app, which is way more secure than the text message. So that's your first step. Second step is update your systems. Anything, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever it is. That old stigma around like, oh, let me wait, it may break my device. I don't recall the last time one of my devices broke because of an update. I just don't. If you did have that problem, I'm happy to hear from you, but I can tell you, just install the updates. Wherever possible, I set it on automatic updates. Where it's not possible, I do it as soon as I can. Get notification, go, say update, reboot it, done deal. Then the third step is use a service like OneDrive to store your important document. That might sound counterintuitive to you because you're like, oh, the cloud, should I really move it to the cloud? But here's the thing, use a cloud provider you trust. In my case, OneDrive, right? OneDrive is encrypted. In transit, it's encrypted at rest. It has even a functionality called Personal Vault, which is an extra security layer where I can put my most personal information in it. Documents, things like that, that might be difficult for me if I were to lose it, if I travel or abroad, but I really want to make sure it's secure. That Personal Vault, for example, when I log into OneDrive and I want to go into the Personal Vault, I need to authenticate myself again, and then it's only open for a certain time limit and then it locks it again. So even if my initial account level would get breached, you wouldn't get into my Personal Vault. So that's step 3. Make sure you use cloud services. OneDrive has specific protection for ransomware, etc. You can also use it to back up your data. And then fourth, a maybe obvious, not so obvious one to you, but reboot your system. At least once a week. Don't just put it in hibernation. And let's face it, devices are so fast now in booting, it really doesn't make a sense to just close it or have it hibernate or put it in your laptop. Just turn it off. It's cleaner in every single circumstance. It's cleaner than have your system just running week after week. If you want to learn more about any of these topics, read down in the description. I put some links to additional information, to some resources if you want to deep dive into it. If you have any questions, reach out on any of the social media channels to me. I hope you enjoyed the beginning story from the book Tools and Weapons by Brad Smith and Carol Ann Brown. I will also link it in the description. If you want to learn more about Ricky, you got to join me next week. I will do an interview as we're hitting the road, just about him and his career and how he ended up in the tech sector. And with that, D-Dev Kurth out.